What am I doing right here? I'm sure you all recognize it. I'm X-stepping, right? I'm doing the X-step. When I first learned how to throw about 100 feet farther from my original crabbing ultimate frisbee form, I was taught the X-step in 2004. And when I learned it, it did kind of look like an X. Your body is kind of making an X shape if you look at how these feet wind up. And it made sense. Step behind, swing your body, throw the disc. It worked and it made me throw a lot farther. But like so many people trying to throw that way, I got capped at a very remedial level and got stuck there for almost 20 years. It's basically the main story of the method system. In that entire time, it was inconceivable to me about how you actually X-stepped in this sport. And once I began to hone in on the stability that the brace actually gave me, once I understood the method and I was working in a new part of my mind, I began to feel increased stability and trust, which allowed me to eventually add an X-step to my already really, really good standstill form. It took about a year to do it. And in fact, when I looked at my form in the original method series in chapter 1, I throw a serviceable standstill, and my footwork in any of the videos where I'm moving is god awful. So are my upper body biomechanics. I am stepping behind my body, getting off balance and pulling the disc around my body in a circle still. I could only get there to an extent from the standstill, and even that one didn't look biomechanically correct. There were a million flaws and I spent a year working on them. Eventually, about 6 months ago, I made a video on this channel called How to X-Step Properly. And I showed the viewer perfect flow down the T-pad, how to feel that boing and to come back up again, how to feel springy and light like a panther. And when I toured the country, like back in August, going from place to place, teaching the form, I was still doing the panther thing. But I realized finally, when I got to have a reunion with Sebastian, who is the sort of insane bomber in the series. Sebastian, my dear friend, lives up in Michigan, and we met at the toboggan course. And I watched him on a slippery, relatively short tee bomb 750 feet in a giant arcing anhyzer that went all the way to the distant basket, which is, it's like for hole 3, I think, of the course. Just totally banana stuff, or maybe hole 4. Anyway, I saw Sebastian's trust on the T-pad. I saw how commanding he was, how forceful, how when he dropped into his brace, the T-pad literally shook with energy because I was standing so close to it while we were filming, and he was throwing as hard as he possibly can, which incidentally is 84 miles an hour, apparently, which puts him in the very, very top elite class in the world, alongside Barella and Wiggins. And I don't think anyone else throws a max weight disc 84 that I know of. Maybe Quxa does. Anyway, watching Sebastian throw, watching his trust on the T-pad showed me something important. I was missing a critical piece, and that's what today's video is all about. To find the feel, you must return to the heel. I've been teaching people to stay up on the ball of the foot during their footwork. This is extremely important because in order to feel the lateral flow, you must be high in your balance. You have to be light and bouncy. The problem arises is that if you stay light and bouncy the whole time and you go from ball of the foot to ball, guess what? When your body is in a position where all your weight is on a bouncy thing, it's elastic. There's very little resistance in there that you can harness off the ball as you push forward. And the consequence is that in order to feel powerful still, you have to twist your body into the plant, falling to the right, which is why you see people, even with good footwork, they have to brace like this. Now, that could work for a shot that comes out here, but if you want to throw down the line, that's not going to work when you do a huge offset, which is why a lot of people like me a year ago, on film many times unfortunately, is pulling the disc around my body to feel powerful in a big circle because of where my brace is aligning. You have to do that if the foot is not adding the entire time in order to feel powerful. That's the only way that this mechanism aligns to get this great posture. So how to fix it? Return to the heel. Stride. push down into your heel during this step. Push off of that heel to make the stomp hard. As soon as I started doing this, really feeling it, push hard into the instep, slam the foot down. I fall into this beautiful Will Schuster pose, like this. So I really feel like I have the footwork down. It feels excellent, honestly. I feel like purposeful, and every time I'm hitting the ground, I feel the reverberation through the wood floor, straight up into my quad. It feels like a giant font of energy, which is what it's supposed to feel like. It's hard and forceful, and I'm gonna be able to summon that energy up through my body by de-weighting this leg. As soon as this leg's off the ground, all the force is coming up in one direction. It can't go that way, because this is off the ground, which means it goes through the body into the throwing arm. Kaboom. I'm gonna try to do some videos of that exact form. Hopefully it turns out well. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon.